Adam Silver said, you know what? Ain't none of this fair to Caitlin Clark. The torment, the assaults, everything that she's been faced with since she got here. He's subliminally letting the fans know. I'm telling y'all right now.
Did you hear that? Because that right there is the moment the whole WNBA power structure got exposed. Not hinted at, not softened, not dressed up in league PR language. Exposed. When Adam Silver starts talking about Caitlin Clark like she has been turned into a political football, that is not some random throwaway line. That is the NBA commissioner publicly admitting the biggest star in women's basketball has been dragged into a mess the league failed to control, and now everybody can see it. This is no longer just Team Caitlin versus her critics. This is Team Caitlin versus a WNBA machine that keeps cashing the checks from her fame, while acting offended by the consequences of protecting the product.
And I'm telling you right now, Caitlin Clark is getting some justice. If it's one person that's on her side, and the one person that mattered the most is Adam Silver. Adam Silver is completely 1,000 cold-heartedly on Caitlin Clark.
And that is why fans are so fired up right now. Because for months, the argument has been, stop making everything about Caitlin Clark. Fine. But if she is not the central issue, then why does every crisis in this league keep crashing right back into her name? Physical play? Caitlin. Officiating outrage? Caitlin. Ratings boom? Caitlin. Attendance explosion? Caitlin. Media narratives getting ugly? Caitlin. At some point, you either admit she is the engine, or you admit the league is willing to let its biggest draw take the hits, while everybody else lectures fans about tone. And honestly, this is the real problem. The WNBA wants the benefits of superstar economics without the responsibilities that come with superstar protection. The league set attendance records in 2024 with more than 2.35 million fans, up 48%, and merchandise sales jumped 601%. It also posted record TV and digital numbers with more than 54 million unique viewers. Everybody got richer when the Caitlin Clark wave hit. Everybody. So when fans hear Silver say this has become unfair to her, they hear something bigger. The business side knows exactly who changed the game, even when the public messaging tries to blur that reality.
Adam Silver said this is what he said. This is his words, not mine. He stated, let me give you a serious answer to that question. I don't think that's the ultimate issue around Caitlin Clark, or not largely about officiating. And that particular incident is not about whether a foul should have been called at the time of the game or whether that was ultimately a flagrant or a non-review.
Now stop right there, because that quote is what set this whole thing on fire. Silver did not treat the Alyssa Thomas incident like one isolated replay review. He reframed it as a symptom of something larger. That matters. Because when a commissioner stops debating one call and starts talking about the environment around a player, he is telling you the league has a culture problem, not just a whistle problem. And fans instantly read that as confirmation that the WNBA let this build too long. The AP reported Thomas was suspended 1 game after making contact with Clark's throat with her fist, and Fever coach Stephanie White called the no call absolutely unacceptable. That is not fringe outrage. That is the team itself saying player safety got botched in plain sight. Source. So now the sides are obvious. On one side, fans saying protect the star, clean up the officiating, stop pretending repeated incidents are normal. On the other, people insisting any outrage is overblown, as if the league can sell Clark as the face of the boom, and then act shocked when viewers demand accountability.
He said, I come to know Caitlin Clark really well. She's an incredible player and also an incredible person. And she wants to focus on being the best player she can. And she's become a bit of a political football in this country. And I think it's incredibly unfair to her.
That line is devastating. Not because it proves every online argument from every Clark fan, but because it blows up the league's favorite escape hatch, pretending the chaos is just fan hysteria. No, Silver is saying the discourse itself got hijacked. Political football, political ping pong. That means the conversation stopped being about basketball and turned into a tug of war for symbolism, resentment, race debates, media clicks, and culture war nonsense. And who gets caught in the middle? The player trying to run a pick and roll and win games. This is where everything falls apart. Because this did not happen in a vacuum. Kathy Engelbert was already under criticism before this moment. Back in 2024, players and the WNBA blasted her for failing to forcefully condemn racist, misogynistic, and homophobic abuse tied to the Caitlin Clark-Angel Reese discourse. Chelsea Gray, Brianna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, the Union, they all made it clear the league cannot monetize rivalry while going soft on toxicity. That matters now, because it created the image of a league office always reacting late, always cleaning up after the damage is done. Source. So when Silver speaks now, fans do not hear neutrality. They hear correction. They hear the adult in the room stepping in, because the room got too loud, too messy, and too political.
When Caitlin Clark was frustrated in the game, Caitlin Clark is frustrated because of all of the side circus that is going on surrounding her name. Now, I don't think Caitlin Clark is mad at the content creators. I really don't. I think Caitlin Clark is mad at mainstream media.
And say what you want about the ranting style, that point lands. Because the media machine absolutely helped turn Clark into an endless battlefield. Every hard foul becomes a referendum. Every post-game quote becomes a coded statement. Every rivalry becomes a race war for engagement farming. Every conversation gets stretched until it snaps. Clark's fame did not just bring eyeballs, it brought opportunists. Some defend her because they genuinely support her. Others use her as content fuel, grievance fuel, ideology fuel. Silver calling that unfair is basically admitting the circus got bigger than the sport. But here is the uncomfortable part. The WNBA also benefited from that circus. The league signed a landmark media package with Disney, NBCU, and Amazon that begins in 2026 and covers more than 125 national games per season through 2036. That kind of deal does not happen in a vacuum. It happens because interest exploded, and the face most associated with that explosion is Caitlin Clark. Source. So fans are asking a brutal question. If she helped move the league into a new money tier, why did it feel like the league hesitated to defend her until the backlash became too loud to ignore?
You are now seeing off-the-chart validations of WNBA teams. Joe and Claire Tasha have done an incredible job here in New York with the Liberty. Caitlin came along, brought an entirely new audience, and it began when she was still in college.
There it is. The line everybody is going to fight over. Because once Silver says Clark brought an entirely new audience, the neutrality game is over. That is not a fan account saying it. That is not a hot take YouTuber saying it. That is the most powerful executive connected to the league saying, yes, this star changed the scale of the business. And that is why the emotions are so raw. Team Caitlin hears that and says, exactly. Stop gaslighting us. Stop acting like this is interchangeable. Team WNBA establishment hears it and worries the entire league conversation is shrinking around one player. But that tension is not Clark's fault. That is what happens when a league spends years building a culture-first identity, then suddenly gets dropped into superstar capitalism at full speed. And now the labor side is changing too. The 2026 tentative CBA includes a new revenue-sharing model, a salary cap rising from $1.5 million to $7 million, average salaries projected above $583,000, and enhanced travel and player benefits. That tells you the money era is here. The players know their value. The league knows the product is hotter. The question is whether leadership can handle the pressure that comes with that new scale.
Silver stated, I'm not going to comment on that because I don't think it's fair to Caitlin Clark.
And that final piece is why this story is not dying anytime soon. Because Silver did not fully confirm every report, but he also did not slam the door on them. He protected the frame, not the politics. And in this climate, that is enough to make people believe change is coming. Maybe that change is tougher officiating accountability. Maybe it is a harder line on player safety. Maybe it is a leadership reset. Maybe it is a league office finally realizing you cannot build around a generational star while acting embarrassed by her impact. But one thing is clear. The old balancing act is breaking. Fans versus executives. Growth versus resentment. Protect the star versus deny the problem. Pick a side. Because if Caitlin Clark is just another player, then none of this should have exploded like this. But if she is the economic accelerant everyone quietly knows she is, then failing to protect her brand, her body, and the competitive environment around her is not just incompetence, it is sabotage of the league's own future. That is the verdict. Adam Silver did not just defend Caitlin Clark. He exposed how fragile the WNBA power structure looks when its biggest success story collides with its weakest habits. So now I want to know where you stand. Are you with Team Caitlin, demanding the league stop using her fame without matching it with protection? Or are you with Team WNBA, saying the outrage has gone too far, and fans need to back off?